let me say that I want to thank Mr. Jim Lawlor for providing me with a copy of this book called A New History of the Bahamas. And I welcome his daughter Lisa. Both of you are historians, is that correct?
Correct.
And you are now a professor at the University of the Bahamas?
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Tell me, Mr. Lawlor, what got you focused on this book?
Oh boy. I got to tell you that my father-in-law was Paul Aubrey, who wrote The Story of the Bahamas. He was like my wizard that give you three tasks. One was to research and write the religion chapter for his Harbour Island story, which he never could get to write. And my daughter and my wife and I had to write it, the Harbour Island story. Then he had me to take the photographs of the Paradise Island story. And then Anne and I had to update it later on. The third one was to illustrate in Bay Street by Bliss Carman, the poem. And after he died, Anne was obsessed with putting a last chapter or two on his story of the Bahamas. So that was a part of the research. But he sent me to the archives in 1982, and I just loved, I caught his virus, his enthusiasm for history. I just needed to write. I just finished this other book in November, and after it I thought, I've got a new history of the Bahamas. So in this book, I'm collecting old story and combining it with new story.
Wow. So you have two books here now.
Yeah.
One called The New History of the Bahamas and one called The History and Memoir.
That's my life in the Bahamas and the research that I did.
And I see in this book, it's you go all the way up to independence.
I'm obsessed with, there's this man called Anthony Smith. He wrote a book called National Identity. And I know everybody in the Bahamas is searching for national identity. So I decided to put independence, creating a new national identity. And you can see all the symbols I used and the history of the last 50 years since independence and what the government have done, the various governments have done.
Wonderful. Well, where can people get copies of these books?
Well, I sell them from my home. B, they're at the Bahamas Historical Museum on the corner, Shirley and Elizabeth. They're at Dune Click Studios and at Logos at the present time.
All right. Now, Lisa, what do you think about this work?
I am so proud of my dad. He's written a total of 7 books, and he likes to say 25 articles. But he, since my mom's passing, a lot of people would kind of not have a direction, but he has gone into history writing, and it's just a really good passion to have, of course, because that's what we need in the country. And when I talk to my students at UB, I get a lot of students who are not passionate about history at the beginning of my class, but I have, swayed a few into the history program, either as a major or a minor. And they do come to see the value of history through the course. And so, in the very beginning of when I was teaching, I used to get Dad to come in to do guest lectures. And because he can just talk history off the top of his head. And I'm not quite a natural yet, but he's...
Well, let me say this. On behalf of all of us who have an interest in really getting to know the past, let me commend you both for what you do.
Thank you.
I think this is very important in the whole process of nation building and understanding ourselves and so on and so forth. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you.